It is not just that Peter Mandelson said that Epstein was his best pal and that he loved him. It wasn't just that he brokered a deal for him while he was business secretary. We now, of course, know that he was working for Epstein's early release after he was convicted. The Foreign Secretary had said that protecting women, girls and victims was her priority. How on earth did that square with the behaviour of the government over recent days, squirming and twisting to try and protect Peter Mandelson rather than the victims?
Mr. Speaker, in light of additional information in emails written by Peter Mandelson, the Prime Minister has asked the Foreign Secretary to withdraw him as Ambassador to the United States. The emails show, Mr. Speaker, that the depth and extent of Lord Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is materially different from that known at the time of his appointment. In particular, Mr. Speaker, Lord Mandelson's suggestion that Jeffrey Epstein's first conviction was wrongful and should be challenged is new information. And in light of that, Mr. Speaker, and mindful, as we all are, of the victims of Epstein's appalling crimes, he has been withdrawn as ambassador with immediate effect.
Mr. Speaker, this is yet another extraordinary error of judgment by this weak Prime Minister. And I pay tribute to the Leader of the Opposition for yesterday securing justice for the victims of Epstein. This raises massive questions. It is not just that Peter Mandelson said that Epstein was his best pal and that he loved him. It wasn't just that he brokered a deal for him while he was business secretary. We now, of course, know that he was working for Epstein's early release after he was convicted. And the simple question is this. Is the Minister now saying that the Prime Minister did not know about any of this at the point where he was appointed? Don't say the boxes were ticked and the process was followed. What did the Prime Minister know at the point of his appointment? Our Minister this morning said, "My understanding was that all of the information was present." Is that correct? Did the Prime Minister know, and will the government now publish all the documents relating to Peter Mandelson's vetting? And if the Minister says he doesn't know at the time, when did the Prime Minister become aware of these revelations? Now, Peter Mandelson quietly stayed at Epstein's house while he was in prison. Mandelson now says that he was wrong to think he was innocent. That's his defence. He had pleaded guilty. So there are huge questions here, Mr. Speaker. Did the State Department, the US State Department, give any warning to our government ahead of this appointment? Did the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Sue Gray, give any warning? Have any employees of Global Counsel visited our Washington embassy since his appointment? Next week is going to be the state visit. This is a huge turmoil ahead of it, and I cannot believe that the government have put our monarch in this terrible position. I am glad that Peter Mandelson has now gone. The Foreign Secretary had said that protecting women, girls and victims was her priority. How on earth did that square with the behaviour of the government over recent days, squirming and twisting to try and protect Peter Mandelson rather than the victims? Mr. Speaker, let's be clear. This is a government where you had a corruption minister having to resign over the links to corruption. You had a former police officer having to resign over having not been clear with the police. You've had a housing minister having to resign over not paying tax on a house. And now you put our ambassador to Washington in the middle of the biggest scandal in Washington. This is a weak Prime Minister with error after error of judgment.
Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think the first thing that we all need to be clear across this House, and I'm sure the honourable gentleman wouldn't disagree with this, is that the victims of Epstein are at the forefront of all of our minds. He was a despicable criminal who committed the most heinous crimes and destroyed the lives of so many women and girls. Clearly, obviously, events in the last few hours, he wrote his remarks before that, but I want to reiterate what I said to him, which is that the emails show that the depth and the extent of Lord Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is materially different from that known at the time of his appointment. And in particular, Mr. Speaker, the suggestion that Jeffrey Epstein's first conviction was wrongful and should be challenged is new information. Lord Mandelson has resigned. That decision has been taken, and that is a very, very clear answer to his questions.
Andy MacDonald.
The Prime Minister has made exactly the right decision, and I think that has to be acknowledged. He's moved at pace to put that right. Don't be ridiculous. Treat it seriously.
Please.
It's very important. There will be a lot of people listening to what's gone on in this chamber. So please, let's put some courtesies to each other.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could I ask the Minister, clearly the appointment process didn't pick up these issues, that's self-evident. So can we have an assurance that there will be an inquiry as to why that was not the case and that this House will be kept informed? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I thank him for his comments on the decision. As I said, this is a decision that has been taken by the Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary, and Lord Mandelson has resigned. He asks about the processes. Of course, any candidates for ambassador positions are subject to routine extensive vetting and background checks as a matter of course, and I would point him to the formal processes outlined in the Diplomatic Service Code, which highlights the robust security clearance and vetting process that all members of the diplomatic service undergo.
Can the Minister please explain to the House, assuming we get over that hurdle, why the appointment of a man who described President Trump as a danger to the world, who the Americans described as an absolute moron, who has close links with China, and who has a history of misfeasance in public office, why was he the right appointment to make to the relationship with the most important and powerful country in the world, and a relationship which is essential to this country?
He asked about the processes. I've been very clear, Mr. Speaker, all candidates for ambassador positions are subject to extensive vetting and background checks as a matter of course, and I'd refer him to that formal process outlined in the Diplomatic Service Code. But what I can assure him, Mr. Speaker, is that we will keep the House updated on these matters.
Will he forgive me, the Minister? I just give him some gentle advice. In my experience of these scandals, the cover-up and the lack of due process and the allegations of cronyism are much more serious than any original offence or alleged offence. So will the Minister ensure that every single document is released post-haste about the process, including this issue about the meeting that Mandelson requested with Prime Minister Blair over Epstein? So we need everything released straight away, move on and get a new ambassador.
Well, Mr. Speaker, he is absolutely right about the importance of our relationship with the United States and the upcoming state visit. Very important. We've got an extensive team working on that, and His Majesty the King is obviously very much looking forward to welcoming President Trump, and of course many officials working diligently day and night to ensure that visit is a success. I'm not going to get into the individual issues and claims that he makes, but what I will say is that this is a decisive decision, and in light of the additional information in emails written by Lord Mandelson, the Prime Minister has asked the Foreign Secretary to withdraw him as ambassador.